Hi, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a reading for the Virgo new moon. Virgo is a very rich sign. That's all I can really say, because it is mutable earth. And so it talks about the most abundant, most beautiful, most enlightened forms that matter can take. That is the higher end of the spectrum of the archetype of Virgo. But then it also talks about the darkest, the most horrible, expressions that we can see here on Earth. And so it is really rich. There is a lot of materia for us to choose from right now as we enter the Virgo new moon. And it's like the energies are becoming, in a sense, more serious. It's like they are calling us to slow down, to observe more, and to become very, very aware of what we are tying ourselves to. What are these timelines that we are manifesting from? And it's interesting because Virgo, like I said, it holds a lot of different archetypes. One archetype of Virgo is the Virgin. And this is the pure form of Virgo. This is the form when you meet an individual. It was typically a woman that had, she had completely left her ego behind. She was completely surrendered to her purpose, to her spiritual mission. And, she didn't belong to anyone but her higher self. She had no family, no husband, no identity, nothing. She was just this pure white light that was here to channel information and guidance for humanity. But then we also have the darker aspects of the Virgo archetype. We have the slave and the prostitute. This is an individual that does not own their own body. They do not own their own time. They do not own their own energy. They are just here to work tirelessly for others without getting any form of appreciation for what they do. And so it's almost as if when we reach Virgo, the archetype of Virgo, our heart needs to break. It's like our heart needs to shatter so that we can see the incredible range of what it is that we can manifest here on Earth. It's like we're being called by this light to become more aware. And so I did already pull some animal spirit cards. We got two very interesting cards. The hawk came out together with the dolphin. And so these are two very distinct energies. Let's talk about the dolphin first, because the dolphin, it's such a fun energy. It's such a playful energy. The dolphin just wants to enjoy, to create, to go with the flow, to play and to have fun, and it's almost like, if you see, there are some kind of vibrations here, there are some kind of rippling effect that happens with the dolphin. And so this is kind of that virgin energy is what I'm picking up on. This is that very light, bright, expanded, purposeful energy that comes through us when we are just free, when we're able to find the moment of just like freedom and fun and just like childlike innocence and just go with it and just create. That is the dolphin energy. And so it's almost as if the dolphin is here to tell us that, these timelines are really opening up now to those of you who, who are able to let yourself be free. Because many times, that is where our shadow work lies. At least for me, I come to realize that, I was the one standing in my own way many times. Of course, we end up in situations that makes it a bit challenging to move out of, in the sense that we can't just snap and go. It's like we have to build new structures, and so it does take time to move into this energy. It's not something that happens in a week. It might take a year, but it's possible. And so what I'm feeling here is to really begin to hone in on and tune in on these timelines, so that this can emerge as we move into 2021, is what it feels like. And the other card that came through was the hawk. So with the hawk, I feel that we are being told a little bit how to achieve this very bright and light and fun energy. Oops, he flew away, the hawk. He's a little bit of a eager energy, flying around, observing everything. And if you look at him, he is traveling directly into this white light. He's traveling directly into that, almost like God consciousness, because he wants to see. He's not afraid of the truth, the hawk. He's sharp. He's ready to see. Doesn't matter what it costs him anymore. Doesn't matter if it's gonna break his heart anymore. He wants the truth. And so there is very much this energy of stepping into fearlessness a bit more, challenging ourselves a bit more. And there's a need to let go of the old light here, is what I'm getting. And so I've been talking about this for a little bit already. It's like the old light is kind of representing all of the old structures in our societies, the old truths, the old narratives, our egos, everything that or not everything, but some things that we were taught that we needed to do, but that we now see are no longer really serving us. Those are the things that okay, so there was this really loud iron hawk flying by over here, so I had to turn the camera off a little bit. But what I was saying was that it's like the things, the old narratives, the old stories, those are the things that are blocking our view of the truth. Because all of these old stories, they're all linked to the past. And this truth right here, this white light, it's like, it's timeless, it's pure, it's right here in this moment. It's what it feels like. And so it's almost like we need to let go of this old light, this old way of perceiving and thinking and believing, and open up to new things, allow ourselves to be a little bit of a fool, actually, is what it feels like, and not be afraid to explore, or maybe be stupid or don't know. Again, what comes through is that willingness to play and to be innocent, and to just, it's like, it feels like this dolphin is just like sensing its way forward. So let's see what more comes out for the collective for Virgo new moon. And here's where the trouble comes in, the Nine of Swords. It's so difficult to just be for us today. You know, it's so difficult for us to just be because we have been taught that we need to perform. And it's even like, you know, I remember when I just started to meditate, to try to kind of get into a new perspective. And it's like trying to meditate, you know, I didn't even know how to sit still and just observe myself and observe my own body. So I kept trying to meditate. And this is a little bit the feeling that I'm getting. It's like trying to be the dolphin. It doesn't really work. And so there is this challenge for many people. And actually what I'm getting with the Five of Wands here that was underneath the deck is that it's the resolution to that Nine of Swords, to that anxiety, to that overthinking. It actually comes from the areas where you are resisting. So it's like follow your resistance is actually what I'm feeling now. And notice whenever you are resisting something, and then zoom in on that and start to look at these different voices that is part of what generates the feeling of resistance. Because these voices are all coming from past lives. In a sense, these voices are really the voices of our ancestors. You know, it's the voices of past lives that are telling us, oh no, you can't do this, you know, don't be silly, you really can't be free. Who do you think you are? This is not realistic, what are you doing? That's the voice, you know, it's coming from a past life. And it's almost like with the hawk, that it's our job right now to observe these past lives, you know, to see them, to see the truth of what they are, to observe their stories, but to also recognize that, you know, hey, I'm not a slave, this is not me, this is not coming from my higher self. You know, I can clearly feel that the vibration of this voice is not the vibration of my higher self. Because I guess for most people that their higher self is, you know, more like freedom, peace, you know, love, things like that. And so if that narrative is not feeding you those emotions, it's probably not from your higher self. You know, it's probably coming from, you know, what you see here on this card. It's coming from rotting carcasses that are actually dead, but that are still kind of attached to our energetic body in the astral realm. And so it's really a time, it feels like, of becoming aware of these past lives and of figuring out for yourself within your own life how you can overcome it. And so I think that each of us, we kind of need to figure out this a little bit for ourselves, because this is such a big part of how we find our power. You know, it's like realizing to ourselves that I can overcome this. I did it. I freed myself. I cut the chains. Is such a huge part of just that feeling of, you know what, I'm gonna be safe. And so it feels like that, again, it's that, you know, you can manifest the highest expression of the Virgo, or we can manifest the densest and the darkest expression of the Virgo. And it's really up to us. You know, it's really up to us to choose what we invest into. So let's see what more comes out here. Okay, quite a lot of cards coming out there. Underneath the deck we have the Son of Wands. This is that new type of consciousness that we're building, it feels like. You know, this feels like the new sun. This feels like the clearing of the... feels like the clearing of these past lives, or rather, it's almost like, you know, it's not that we're clearing them, because they're not, you know, these past lives are not evil. They are just kind of the energetic imprints of these past lives are just that. They just speak of what they experienced themselves and what they learned in their lives. It's not that they are alive, you know, they are death. They can change themselves. And so it feels like, actually here with the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, and the Star, you know, it feels like it is our purpose to bring peace to these past lives. You know, that is a part of what we're doing when we're doing shadow work. We don't just do it for ourselves, you know, for our own success or our own future. We actually also do it for our ancestors, you know, to bring peace to them, to overcome energetically. You know, we're energetically overcoming the challenges that they could not overcome. And if we think of humanity as an entire being, you know, that is huge for that being, because it shows that that being is evolving. It's becoming more expanded, it's becoming lighter, it's becoming more powerful and more ascended. And so that's really what it feels like we're doing. It's really stepping into our power, our ability to take on that feather coat and fly both into the dark, you know, into the dark, into that resistance and that anxiety and everything that is triggered by fear and pain, but also learn how to fly towards the light. So not getting tainted, you know, not allowing yourselves to be shut down or lose our faith completely, but having the ability to open our heart again once we come out of these, you know, purges or these trips down into the shadows, is what it feels like. Because with the Mother of Cups and the Star, it's just this deep need for healing right now. We need to heal these past lives in the collective, because they are running us, you know, they are running many people, and it's like they are living deep down in our subconscious, creating all of these emotions within us to the point where we're not able to let ourselves be free, to the point where we're not able to manifest from our higher self. And it's almost like the Virgo new moon is kind of like this reality check of, is that what you want? You know, you have to, it's like you have to move matter from one form to another. And that's also a little bit of Virgo energy, you know, work. It's like we have to do the work, the actual work, the observing, so that our brain can actually evolve, you know, so that our brain can actually begin to unravel and, you know, open up these messes. these rotting carcasses that are just lying there and that we're dragging around with us. So it's a little bit of a, it almost feels like whoop, the rug is being pulled under us a little bit, and it's meant to make us fall on our asses so that we can get this shock of like, yo, you gotta make a choice right here, and this choice is really gonna determine your future, is what it feels like. Let me get one more card. Or actually, there was a card here that I didn't see until now, and it was the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is the new world. This is new earth. And new earth is kind of, it's a new body. It's a new state of earth coming through our own body. And our bodies cannot change unless we change our behavior. Our bodies doesn't really change by putting another label on it. The structures within our bodies are still, pretty much the same. And so it really comes down to actually starting practices that will lead to change within your life. Is like pulling up our sleeves and actually beginning to do the work. Because it's like this Ace of Pentacles, it's not gonna fall into our lap. It's almost like this is presented to us. It's like presented to us, but we must be able to reach for it. It's like we must have grown enough. We must be tall enough to actually be able to grab it into our hands and pull it into our reality. And right now, just to repeat this one more time because it keeps coming through, so it feels very important, is like these 3 cards. Look for the shadows. Look for the shadows that are coming alive within your life. Where are you fearing? Where are you not trusting others? Where are you not trusting, your authorities? Where are you not trusting other people? Where are you not trusting the universe? Where do you think that, the worst case scenario is going to manifest? Because that's where you run by a past life, is what I'm getting. And so very direct messages coming through this time with the reading. So I hope that you are able to receive it well. I hope that you're doing great. Take care and goodbye.